Well, good evening, good evening. We got a lot of rain this afternoon. Everybody is soaked. We got a good rain last night finally. It was just a small drizzle, but I ran outside while it was drizzling and put 4 or 5 gallons of nutrients on them while it was raining. I figured that'd be the best time. Mother Nature does it that way, right? Rain and nutrients all at the same time. And then this afternoon when it started again, I think I went through 7 gallons of nutrients probably. The rain barrels are almost full. I probably got 350 gallons of rainwater collected. It was a wonderful afternoon in that regard. And I'm just out checking on everybody. Everybody looks really, really good. Really good. They are soaked to the bone. But they're nice and clean and refreshed and washed. Everybody's had a bath and been fed. Everybody's ready to go. All winter long I've been waiting for this, and now the plants are growing on their own. Mother Nature's providing. I'm just giving some feed, but she's taking care of the rest of it. So I'm really, really happy, and I'm getting a break. I'm not having to water and water and water and water. So it's the first break I've had since October. I'm happy about it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Look at that staghorn. Look at that beast. I bet it gained 100 pounds today. I'm not kidding. I know it got rained on all afternoon, but it's like bone dry underneath it, so it sucked up everything that hit it. I don't think anything dripped through it. So I'm out here looking at plants, and I thought I'd answer a question I get asked all the time. I think it's a great question. Is my plants are outside, even when they weren't outside, but they're getting rained on all the time. Am I not concerned about getting water in the crowns? That's a great question, especially for Phalaenopsis growers. There's a couple of things I want to mention about this. One is, in nature, in wild, how does a Phalaenopsis survive then if it can't get water in its crown? How is it surviving in the wild attached to a tree? How is it not going to get rained on? How? It's not the rain that causes the issue, and that's what you have to ask. You have to ask yourself those why questions. You have to ask yourself that, and it'll answer these things. I always go back to Mother Nature. I've said that before. Go back to what Mother Nature would do. I think it answers the questions for you. In the wild, these things would hang on a tree. Usually they grow towards the light, and they'll lean like this one is. And they'll lean and not collect water in the crown, but sometimes they won't, and sometimes just like this is lean, but it still collects water. And this one, even though it's been outside since it was outside all last summer, and it's doing it again now, but it grows very vertical, upright. So because of that, it does collect water in the crown. So how does that not hurt the plant? It doesn't stay there very long. It will leak out over a period of time, and it's just a tiny, tiny little amount of water that collects. Very, very little. It's not like it's half a gallon or even a pint or even anything. It's not even a spoonful. It's just a small amount of water. But the more important point about any of that is what causes the crown rot to begin with? Is it the water in the crown that causes that? I don't believe that, because in nature they get rained on and that doesn't cause it. So what would cause that? This goes back to the same situation when you have Cattleyas. Probably not the greatest time to do a nutritional video, but this goes back to that same situation that people have with Cattleyas, like in South Florida this time of year. This time of year when things start to get kicked off and get very, very warm, temperatures get up, things start growing, that black rot shows up. The new shoots on the Cattleyas die back and the black rot shows up. Everybody says, oh, it's black rot season. That's not black. Black rot is the end result of a calcium deficiency. Calcium deficiency will cause those new shoots, new growths, new shoots, new canes, bulbs, leaves, flower spikes, roots, root tips to die back. They have to have that calcium to grow. Every little tiny millimeter has to have that calcium to grow. It'll cause those parts to die back, and the normal, typical progress of a piece of vegetation dying is for it to decay and rot, and for that to set in. So the black rot's the end result of a calcium deficiency. It's not the cause of the issue. But that goes right back to these again, too. Where does the new growth, the new shoot, the new bulb, the new cane, where does the new growth on a Phalaenopsis come from? Where does the new growth come from? It comes from the crown. It's that new leaf coming out of the very, very center of the crown. So when they get calcium deficient, the new growth dies back. It's not caused by water in the crown, it's caused by a calcium deficiency. It's just coincidental that water gets in the crown, it gets blamed for that. but it's caused by a calcium deficiency. This is the exact same thing that happens to Cattleya shoots and stuff. And you'll see it a lot of times this time of year when Phalaenopsis are in very, very active, rapid growth. Not enough calcium, that leaf will start dying back and it'll cause a rot to start setting in. And it just keeps spreading and keeps spreading. And if the plant doesn't have enough calcium, it probably has bad roots to begin with. It's not able to pull enough nutrients to fight something like that off, and it ends up killing off the core of the plant and dying. And it gets blamed on crown rot or water, but it's actually a calcium deficiency. It seems like everything's linked to calcium, doesn't it? It just really, really does. But if you think about how these plants grow, this is not a floppy leaf type of plant. These things have thick, hard leaves, bulbs, canes, structure, a lot of structure. They take quite a bit of calcium, quite a bit. I really believe their calcium to nitrogen ratios are 2 to 1, 3 to 1, closer to 3 to 1 ratios. For every bit of calcium or every bit of nitrogen, I think they need 3 times that much calcium. Not just my opinions, and I think that varies orchid to orchid. Species to species, I mean. It's a beautiful time of night. Frogs are out, it's a little breeze, it's beautiful. It's 70 degrees, maybe 69 degrees. We're probably, I don't know, 95% humidity. We've got some more rain coming tomorrow. Oh, how about that? There's that little frog right there in front of me. I didn't even notice him sitting there. Well, I'm gonna let him get back to his dinner. And I'm going to go back to checking plants out. Everybody's fed and watered, so I have nothing to do but just sit back and just enjoy them. Have a wonderful evening, my friends. Thank you for watching.